Welcome back, everybody, to my Final Fantasy XIV podcast videos. Thanks for coming back from the break, and we're going to pick up where we left off last. We first talked about the Collector's Edition and the pre-ordering details and whatnot for the announcement today, along with the release date, which, by the way, is August 27th of this year. So we're going to jump right into the gigantic Leviathan freaking Adamantoise Bahamut size section of the rest of the video that I could not cover in the first one. So the first thing we're going to go over in this video, which is probably going to go over like 2 hours long, which is pretty insane if you're starting to watch this right now. So, okay. Here we go. First thing I want to point out to your attention, which I should have done this like a week ago. I'm really sorry that I took this long and this late in the week to get this out. Especially because if you're not watching this as soon as this goes live, whenever it may be, you're probably going to miss this. But that's okay because I got you covered even if you do. So what am I talking about? We're talking about the Letter from the Producer Live. That is the 7th one, by the way, that is airing this Friday, if I'm not mistaken. So, just to confirm it, I got the page up right here, and it says, "It is our pleasure to inform you that the 7th installment of the Final Fantasy XIV Letter from the Producer Live is scheduled to air on May 30th, 2013. Oh, actually, it is next Thursday, so I wasn't late. I stand corrected. That's really good, because I would have felt like a dick if I got this out at the last moment. So you have, if it's the 23rd now, you got next Thursday. This is going to air. So if it's based off of previous live letters, it's going to technically be Wednesday night, but very early into the next day. If you know what I mean, sort of. They keep shifting it slightly, but they said it's at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you're Eastern like I am, you just throw on 3 hours onto it usually, and it'll be 9 a.m. So it's, depending on how you're looking at it, it's a lot earlier than it usually is, because sometimes it's like 2 or 3 in the morning or whatever, something like that, my time. So mark that on your calendars. It's next Thursday, and there's a thread actually up if you want to ask questions. There's going to be a Twitter page where you can answer questions live during the feed, and they'll have designated threads on the forums, on the Lodestone, that you can go on as well. And you can ask any variety of question you want, as long as it's not NDA breaching, of course, if you're a part of the beta or if you were a part of the alpha test. So, keep it clean, keep it free, NDA free, and knock yourself out. Ask whatever you want. I usually ask the same question I ask almost every time is, are we getting a fucking Beastmaster class or something? And never gets answered, but I throw it in there just for shits and giggles, because I figured, why not? It's better to throw it in there than not throw it in there. So, there's some pretty good questions I looked through. I haven't been through it lately because I've been busy as hell. But some interesting ones about fishing and a couple other things. So, yeah, next Thursday, keep an eye out for that. And here's the page if you want to look over it a little bit more. I'm going to have the link in the description so you can read over it. And the next part I want to go over real quick is E3, the Electronic Entertainment Expo, that is going to be from June 11th through the 13th, I believe, which is kind of funny, those dates, but I'll get into that perhaps later for specific reasons. But anyway, it's the 11th through the 13th, and they're going to have Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn there. So it says, "We're proud to announce that Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn will be at E3 2013 in Los Angeles on June 11th through the 13th. While things are a bit hectic as our E3 preparations are in full swing alongside our Beta Phase 3 planning, the development and operations team have been working hard to prepare exciting content for E3 attendees. If you're able to attend, you'll definitely want to stop by the Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn area at the Square-Enix booth. Just what will the attendees be playing at the show? While we don't want to ruin the surprise, we can say we're planning to let them try out some exciting battle content. Since E3 is an industry-only event, maybe people won't be able to participate, but don't worry. We're also prepping a lot of new videos, including an awesome new trailer, assets, and even some how should we say, live streamed entertainment. We'll have lots of juicy announcements for those of you watching at home, so be sure to mark the calendars. Alright, so mark that on your calendar as well. June 11th through the 13th, they're going to have live streams of Square Enix games, including Final Fantasy XIV. So it's going to be brand new battle content. I don't know if it's going to be like an Ifrit battle shown off to excite people, or an Odin battle, or I don't even know. It could be anything. It could be a Fate for all I know. So I'm interested to see that. It's going to be Phase 3 stuff. So if Phase 3 goes live in early June, I'm guessing it's going to be going live the same weekend that E3 starts. So if I look at my mini calendar again, I go to June. If it's the 11th through the 13th, that's Tuesday through, Tuesday through Thursday. And betas usually technically go on specific dates, so I don't know if it's going to be throughout the week non-stop or what, but hopefully it'll be up by then. And it'll be pretty cool if we got caught in the live stream of us playing at the same time as the E3 people. That would be pretty cool. But we'll see what happens when the announcement comes rolling out. But I just wanted to throw that out there just for people to be aware that 14 is going to be at E3 this year. And you can look forward to it on the live stream that Square Enix is hosting. And by the way, I got to remember where the hell the link was. Okay, hold on real quick. Let me open up Kotaku and let me scroll down through this. There's actually something I saw earlier today for Square Enix. They hosted a new YouTube site. Here it is. Square Enix Presents. And right below it, conveniently, is the Final Fantasy XIV article of the Collector's Edition. But anyway, I'm going to click on this link and show you guys something. This is like the live stream channel that they're doing for all the games that they're showcasing on. So I'm assuming 14 is going to be on this one as well. I could be wrong, but just to be safe, well, I have to click the video first in order to get there. So let me go to YouTube, and there we go. All right, so this links to their page. I'm going to pause that and jump straight to their channel. Okay, here it is. I haven't subscribed to it yet, so I should probably do that right now, just in case. It says, here we are broadcasting exclusive on-site footage and content right from the show. Okay, so yeah, this is the showroom floor E3 live stream channel. I subscribed to it just now, just in case, so if I get any updates, I can let you guys know. I suggest you guys do the same thing too, just temporarily for the E3 event, so you don't forget. And I will include their channel link in the description in case you're having trouble finding it. So, yeah, just throwing that out there. And you can watch the video too on their channel. It's just like a little promo for what to expect. They play some of the Final Fantasy X Chocobo music in the background. All right, so where did I leave off? Okay, so that was E3. Now we're gonna get to the next thing on the topic, which is, if I can pull it up. Here we go. The new letter from the producer that came out today. This is the 46th one, if I'm not mistaken. So Yoshi P's here again, and he says, "Hello again to all you eagerly awaiting Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn. We're now in the home stretch of our preparations for Phase 3 of the beta test. Today is a special day, and I wanted to share my excitement with you, all by the way of my 46th letter from the producer. After keeping fans on edge for what must have felt like an eternity, today we finally announced the release date for Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn. To coincide with this, we've also begun accepting pre-orders. I hope you're all ready because the adventure begins August 27th, 2013. You're probably all curious about the timing of the release, but taking into account everyone's feedback from the beta test along with our goals for the start of A Realm Reborn, this is the date we've decided on. This will be a simultaneous worldwide release for both PC and PlayStation 3. He goes on to say, today's announcement is accompanied by a slew of information. We have samples of the box art, brand new illustrations by Yoshitaka Amano, the contents of the collector's edition, and info on the pricing as well as pre-order bonuses. And if you missed any of that, go check my previous video if you have not seen it yet by mistake. I go over all that in that previous video, specifically dedicated to that. Yoshida continues to say, we wanted to make sure everyone has the opportunity to explore Eorzea, And so we've done our best to make the game as affordable as possible. Having said that, a lot of work went into the collector's edition, so if you enjoy memorabilia, you won't be disappointed. But even this will be offered at barely cost price. For those of you who played version 1.0 or are planning to play on the PlayStation 3, make sure to read the Lodestone for more details, and it gives you a link to the US and Europe portions of the pre-ordering page. And I'll just pull it up real quick so you can see. This we went over in the previous video, so I read the whole thing. So just go back and watch that when it's at the very end, if you missed out on that. And he also says, we've also released a new video today. Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn, A Tour of Eorzea Part 2. And that will be coming up actually next after I finish this letter, which is very soon. Optimization of the PlayStation 3 version is coming along nicely, and you'll be able to see we're really pushing it to the limit. Those planning to play on the PlayStation 3 will want to check it out. There's also a lot to be excited about, but there's still a mountain of work to do before release. As always, in order to bring you all the best games possible, I'm prepared for more sleepless nights in the office. Well, I better get back to preparing for Beta 3, but I'll see you all soon in my 7th live letter. Until next time. Alright, so no pictures in that one, but to make up for it, you're going to have a little bit of a treat here. So, let's skip on over to the promo site where they actually, this is the first thing today when I was at work on my laptop where I saw basically everything that came out today. This is the same image you're looking at that I saw, and I was like, holy shit, when I talked about it in my previous video. Well, this is it. And this is what basically linked me to everything else after, including the little Moogle icon where it says on sale 27th of August 2013, pre-order now. So they updated the site a little bit. This is the only thing that they added, the Tour of Eorzea Part 2, and you can see the Final Fantasy XIV Twitter account section is updated quite a bit, at least 4 or 5 posts today, since all the updates have come pouring out through the floodgates. So I'm not going to watch it on here. However, I downloaded it so it's a lot clearer, and I'm going to watch it on here and walk you guys through this thing on my VLC player. So let me just wait for this to load, and I'm going to blow it up actually. And let me lower the volume too, because it's going to be really fucking loud if I'm trying to talk over this. Okay. So here you can actually see, I'm going to pause the video for a sec. This was not in the original game, okay? Thanalan was made out to be a desert, okay? It was more like the Grand Canyon, let's be honest. This is a fucking desert. This is one of the different portions of the new Thanalan. So, instead of being one all-encompassing zone that looks basically copy-pasted in the same look, sort of like with Final Fantasy XI, 14 now has different zones, in case you haven't been keeping up. And these new zones are radically different in the style that it's going for. So it might all be a desert and like a barren type of environment, but it looks different enough where it doesn't look all the same. Like looks, you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of, I think it was, what was it, Altepa Desert from Final Fantasy XI, where you see like Cactra Rapido and like the frickin' Damel, frickin' giraffe things walking around and stuff, and those ant beastmen things, I forgot their names. That whole region that connected to Bastok, that's what this reminds me of. And you can see a town over here actually in the background. So that's really cool that Thanalan actually has a true desert environment along with that same canyony look that it had in the first game. So it's very wide open and expansive, which is really cool. So we got a Tour of Eorzea Part 2. Now here we have a Midlander here, Lancer, walking out of ul'dah, the main gates, entering Thanalan. And this looks like a basic outpost, like a starting area, I'm guessing. It's called Hammerley. And you see Aziz in the background. Adventurers are fighting with a couple Grand Company chocobos. And a couple more Aziz wandering around. This looks like a mineral deposit or a mining area for, I guess, the miners from ul'dah or something. Giant adamantoise over there on the right. Alright, so here is a brand new area I've never seen yet. This is in Lenosia. So we got a Rogadin male paladin running through here. on Bronze Lake, which was in the original, but looks completely different. Now, if you see these things here, now I'm not very familiar with them in 11, but I know they're a type of enemy from Final Fantasy 11. You can't really see them, but they're kind of look like a prehistoric. I don't know what the word is I'm looking for, but one of those type of crustacean-looking prehistoric creatures, or some sort of crab or something. And I do recall seeing them in 11, I believe. I have to look it up on Final Fantasy Wiki later, but if you look them up, I guarantee you'll find them. And if you're an 11 player, you'll recognize them immediately. So coming up here, we have Camp Bronze Lake, which is also in Lenosia. For Windows PC, they're showing off now. Now, this reminds me of, like, and I'm going to pause the video real quick. This reminds me of, like, one of those Japanese hot springs or whatever they have over there, where just people are chilling out. They have, like, the... you know what I'm talking about, right? You see them in animes and stuff all the time. That's what this reminds me of. I mean, you can see like the steam coming out from the back and people in the swimsuits and stuff. By the way, swimsuits, if you missed out on them the first time in the summer event in the original 14, they are coming back for another chance for players to obtain them, both new and returning. So you can look forward to that. Now here's the Salt Strand. This is in Lenosia as well, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, because you can tell by the crabs in the background and the beaches and stuff. Now, this looks like some giant freaking aetheryte, like, well, not aetheryte, but like crystals just coming out of the ground or something, like huge ethereal spurts just going everywhere. You know what it looks like? It looks like one of the 12, like, jizzed all over the place, and it froze in midair. It looks really cool, but... holy shit, I would hate to get stuck on that thing. Can you imagine falling out of the sky on that? You get freaking shish kebabbed. But this looks really, really awesome, man. Nice crystallized floor and everything that they're bowing crabs on. De Neville Checkpoint. I believe I pronounced that incorrectly, but I'm not sure. Now this is in Lenosia. You can see Limsa Lominsa over there. You can see a chocobo, which looks like a Grand Company chocobo. I think it's a player's chocobo, because no one's riding it, and I don't recall ever seeing any Grand Company chocobos in the game that weren't player-owned. So I think those are actual companion chocobos in the game for the first time. You can see them standing next to their masters, idle. You see this person waving on the road is a blacksmith AF, I believe, if not armorer. I keep mixing the two up. Now here we have my city, my favorite one, Limsa Lominsa. You finally get some nice gameplay footage of. This is where the original fountain used to be that connected the market, NPC market vendors. So it's actually replaced that fountain in that sitting area with an aetheryte. So the Adventurers Guild's up there. That's the Chocobo Stables down there straight ahead. And over there is like the Armor and Blacksmith's Guild. And that big tower was the Grand Company Hall for the Maelstrom. Now you have here the Astalesia, which is the Marauders Guild in Limsa Lominsa. And this is the PlayStation 3 version. You can see the Astalesia. And you see the guy dangling from the rope. Here's the Bismarck. This is the Culinarians Guild in Limsa Lominsa. See, now you can see people walking by. That is brand new clothing in the game that has been added into the new version. Another new costume there for a male character, brand new. There's the Adventurers Guild Tower with the airship dock up top. Now you have a female Rogadin gladiator running through the Black Shroud. Archer casting, I forget the name of that weapon skill on a Trent over there. Couple lanterns. Entering Snake Bolt right now. There's a Black Mage casting some sort of thunder spell on the Trent. The Gladiator just activated Sprint on herself. She's running into the Camp Tranquil area now of the marshlands. I don't know what the hell that was that the Dragoon casted on the Marlboro, but that looked fucking badass. Now we're approaching Earth's Gift on the Windows PC version. We got a female here in Monk AF actually running through here. And I'm going to pause the video here before someone gets an erection, because this is the first in-game footage that you can see of Odin riding his horse Sleipnir. And it was actually funny because in a previous video, including some other people I read on some forum boards, were mentioning that this area was going to be like where you fight Odin. And sure enough, there he is. This is Odin's Sanctuary, if you will. And I thought it did because it looked a lot like the one in the concept art. But he said he's a roaming NM, so I don't know if he can go elsewhere or if he's only stuck in this portion. So I'm actually rewind it again real quick so you can see that. So here's this big, huge, aether-filled area with crystals all over the place. And these adventurers facing against Odin. And they quickly cut away after teasing them. And they have a male here warrior running through Thanalan. Now I want to pause right here. Notice the chocobo right here on the left. He's walking up the stairs. I'm going to replay that again so you can see that. Going up the staircase, a couple of adventurers sitting down. Now look down here. A player walking up the stairs and a chocobo following them. That's the buddy system. The companion chocobos that follow you throughout Eorzea when you summon them. I think that's what they were showcasing off hidden in the video. There's a statue of Nalbthal, one of the gods that the people of Ul'dah worship. And now we have an adventurer warrior riding a chocobo through Drybone. You see a couple sand shrews on the right of the screen if I rewind it again. Oh shit. Went a little bit too fast. You can see one of the sand shrews on the right. There's another one on top of the rock returning from the original game. This crazy looking background that looks awesome. And here's a black mage we got coming up here. Now, remember this in the last video that I did? The letter from the producer one with this image in it? Well, I thought this was an actual enemy or Gubu, but this is like a frozen in place dead Gubu or something. I have a strange feeling this is going to be for a class quest or some sort of story quest in the future. I don't know exactly what it would be for, but I'm really interested to see what it is. My money on so far is for a botanist quest, but... you know, because it's like a plant-type monster, but I don't know. That looks really cool, though. So, yeah, it's just like locked in place. Now we have a little female Lalafell white mage with her relic weapon, Thyrus, running through Camp Drybone, which, by the way, Drybone looks completely different from the way it used to. Like, it doesn't even resemble Drybone anymore. It's that crazy. So we got another encampment we're coming up on. And wow, look at the size of this. There's the Aetheryte Plaza right there. That's kind of blurry. You can't really see much stuff going on. But one thing I do want to point out that I did see, with aside from the blurriness in this one portion, look to the left over there. That one Rogan with the blue. That looks like the Fisher AF. Because if you look at the hat, if you close in on it as best you can, it looks like the Fisher hat from 1.0 that you got through Hamlet. And you already know right there next to him, the Eorzean in the red is Botanist AF. Because they said they're coming out with artifact armor for gathering jobs as well. So for Miner, Botanist, and Fisher will all have them. So I think that's the full set of Fishing AF right there, which I have not seen previously. Alright, so we got a male Makote running through here on Paladin through Lenosia. One thing I want to point out real quick right there. You see him? Okay, without me even saying it, anyone that played Final Fantasy XI automatically knows what that little blue bastard is. Those are the Final Fantasy XI crabs. They had now brought them to 14, so they have the 14 crabs and the 11 crabs. So I guess they're two different species living side by side in the tropical region of Lenosia. Now up here, the giant skeleton... that's the original. If you guys remember the opening cutscene to Limzalo Meanza, if you've seen it on YouTube or if you actually played the game, that giant serpent, everyone used to think that was Leviathan, including myself, until they actually showed Leviathan and came out with them and confirmed that it was not Leviathan. Was that we didn't know what the hell this thing was in the first place. It was just some giant mythological creature, and it was brought up in the intro of 14. But when the game obviously tanked and, you know, the rest of the story of what happened to it, they never used the frickin' sea monster ever again. So, lo and behold, when the first screenshot well, not screenshot, but concept art we saw of Lenosia, they show a shot of the giant thing like fucking dead and bones. It's like, yeah, we couldn't figure out what to do with it. It's like a fossil now. It's dead. It's pretty funny, but they actually have it in game, so I think you can climb on top of it. And on the left, you see where those lights are? I think that's like an archaeological or some type of like paleontological site or something for this giant sea serpent. So it's called Thalos or Thalos. And I believe that's the name of the giant serpent, unless that's the name of the region. I don't know, but it sounds like a serpent name, Thalos. So finally give that thing a name. Alright, so we got some Eorzean in the banks over here. We're in Fool Falls on the PlayStation 3 version. Now you see here, we have some Coeurls in the background. Now they don't have spots like the ones you're used to seeing. These ones are unspotted Coeurls. Unless they're Toramas, I don't know. But you can see a fight going on over here with just a bunch of them just in a huge brawl, and this giant friggin' creature right here, which I'm gonna rewind by real quick. That is actually a what are they called? Death Gaze? Yeah, Death Gaze from Final Fantasy 12. That's where they got those. That's actually a direct model from 12 too, just slightly changed a bit in the colorization. Now we're approaching Bloodshore in the Lenosia region. And if you see here, the swimsuit, again, from earlier is making a return, so players can have a chance to obtain them for new characters, as well as their pre-existing characters that missed out on them the first time. So you got, like, everyone in the bikinis and swimwear in this, like, very coastal, tropical type resort that really reminds me of a level out of Super Mario Sunshine, and a little bit of that one coastal place in Ni no Kuni with everyone wearing bathing suits. That's what that reminds me of. Now the water looks fantastic. You can see straight through it, unlike the first games. You couldn't even see underneath the water's surface. I want to rewind back here because this is just too awesome. You got a bunch of books sitting on there, or whatever the hell that stuff is, on the lawn chair. You got a bunch of hot Makotes dancing back there with their instructor watching them. I guess they're like swimmers or something. I don't even know. You got this adorable little Makote, or not Makote, Lalafell, sitting on the lawn chair, and this female's just like talking to him, or like, I don't know, I guess like waving a fan over him to give him like cool air or something. So that's pretty cool. And you see a bunch of people playing in the beach and stuff near the water. And that is the entire coastal resort area of Lenosia, where I'm going to be starting. So hopefully I'll see some of you guys out there. Now this surprised the shit out of me. Alright, so this is like some crazy freaking jungle region I have not even seen. Like, I've seen one screenshot, I believe, maybe one or two. And it was like a bunch of beastmen looking houses and stuff. So I'm guessing that's where this same region is located. I have no idea what this is. I don't think this is Black Shroud. This doesn't look like a shroud. This looks like a jungle. So I'm guessing this. I'm gonna just take a wild guess here. I think this is Lenosia. I don't know why. I just have this feeling because I don't know. It feels like an island jungle or something, like Jurassic Park looking type thing. I'll tell you what though. Watch this shit. Alright, if you didn't get a Monster Hunter vibe from that, I don't know what will, because holy shit. I've been playing Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate for weeks now on my 3DS, and let me tell you, that reminds me of a freaking Rathalos or a Rathian just taking off in the air if it doesn't notice you and just flying to another zone. Now imagine that. Now go back to where I was talking about Odin, how he's like a wandering primal. What if that dragon is a giant NM or H&M or something, and it just wanders from zone to zone until you encounter it and it notices you, and then you just begin like the fight. It's like a traveling fate, right? How fucking nuts would that be, dude? I mean, why else would it take off in the sky and disappear? Like, you know how in 11 certain monsters only appear under certain circumstances? Well, let's watch that again, because that was just too fucking badass to watch once. Alright, so it cuts to black, and then it comes to this last section here. You got the warrior walking here, and then the dragon just floops up in the air. And then just cuts away. Pre-order now. That's some fucking pretty awesome cool shit, man. Oh, man. That is badass. I'm excited to see how that's gonna be, but I thought that dragon was supposed to be like a dungeon boss or something. The fucking thing's like wandering around in the jungle. But you know what? What if that fucking jungle is a dungeon in itself? Remember when Yoshi P was talking about there's going to be a variety of different dungeons? Now that I think about it, what if that is a fucking dungeon? What if that's like an open dungeon? Most dungeons in 14... What am I saying? Every dungeon in 14 in the original game was inside a cave or something. I'm willing to bet with that one interview that he did or whatever it was when he was talking about there's going to be like a variety of different dungeons like outside and then like with puzzles and stuff, and maybe I think he said there was something about a jungle like one. I'm guaranteeing that's going to be a dungeon, like an open world type, like an outside dungeon, not an inside claustrophobic one that we're all used to seeing. I think that's what that is. I think it's in Lenosia somewhere. And I think it leads to like an instance dungeon area in like a jungle or whatever. I don't know. I think it would be sweet if that was an actual open region in Lenosia or wherever the hell it takes place in. It could be in Mordana for all I know. I have no idea. Like, I don't know how much the different zones have changed. Like, just seeing the Thanaland being a complete desert and then changing to like a canyony area is that much variation that... I don't know. I could sit here speculating for hours. So, comment in the comment section below and let me know what you guys think and speculate, and we'll stir up a type of conversation or whatnot. Now, speaking of speculation, wait until you see this shit if you haven't already. All right, I don't know where to start because it's kind of like pretty broad to go over this. This is the Windows 8 Final Fantasy XIV A Realm Reborn crossover, where it's like a promotion where they're promoting each other and Internet Explorer 10. Well, this was only shown off in Japan. It was not given to us in the NA section, or Europe, according to my knowledge, either. So what happens is, every time someone comments something according to what they ask on Twitter or Facebook, there's like a question of the day or something. So I know you can't read Japanese, but bear with me for a second. It says, let's say for example, it says 5/21/2013 right here. So let's say that's when the new question was proposed, and when you answer the question, you come down here and you have a choice between answering with Twitter or Facebook. And as you can see, I already answered it through a guide that I was looking up online on DualShockers, thanks to Gabriel. He actually he translated for us what it means in English. And I think it was like, what was your first experience with the Final Fantasy series? I think is the latest one right now. And I commented on it, and I was saying Final Fantasy XI. And that's why that little red bubble here that you see me highlighting that pops up once you answer the question. So you're probably saying, why do this? What's the point of this? Okay, you see that percentage? When that percentage hits 100% every so number of times, it fills out a text art. So you see like a little preview of the text art right here with the different font in different types of colors. Well, it forms an image. So if you go here, these are the images that have been completed thus far. The first one was the warrior, the second was the white mage, then monk, then bard, then dragoon, black mage, paladin, and eventually the big banner one that you see now. And you can download them too. I'm going to have this in the link for you guys so you can actually make all these your wallpaper. I actually have the dragoon one as my wallpaper, but temporarily for this video, I'm using the one that this actual website gave for free. And if you come here, this wallpaper, well, it's actually a Windows 7 and Windows 8 theme that you get from oh my god, I'm blanking here, from participating. You gotta comment on the question that they ask, and once you do that, you have to be using Internet Explorer 10. And I was actually having problems because I couldn't download Internet Explorer 10, and I was having like errors and issues and stuff like that. So I did a little bit of research, and I found a blog on... It's not DualShockers. I think it's what's the name of that one? Gamer Escape, right? Gamer Escape. Gamer Escape had they reposted this as like an article, and someone in the comments section actually saved the one that they managed to download and upload it for people to download. So I don't have the link on me right now. I actually forgot. I know it's bad, but I was thinking about it doing right now, but it's going to kind of be a little bit messy. So I'll tell you what. I'll put it in the info box down below, and I'll mark it so you guys know what it is, and you guys can download it too and add it to your computer. And this is what the background looks like. It switches between this and this on whatever timer you set it to. So to give you a little bit of a demo, I'm actually going to go to my desktop real quick and show you. Oh God! Everybody find his porn real quick! Everybody span out! Alright, so while half of you are looking for my porn stash and whatever the hell else you're trying to find on my desktop, I'm going to show off to you what the theme looks like. Okay, so this is it right now. I have it set to 10 seconds loop. I actually had it set it on like every 10-15 minutes it changes. I set it to 10 seconds for the purpose of this video, so you get an impression. So you go here, and when it installs, it automatically gets added to this control panel, and you can change the desktop background and whatnot. You can select which ones you want and don't want. I have it set to 10 seconds. So now what's awesome is it's not only is it a wallpaper, but here's the best part. It comes with sounds too from A Realm Reborn. So like for example, let's see if I can pull one up. All right, so that's the sound effect of the /tell in the game. So you know, it coincides with different system sounds. It replaces them. Now, not all of them are replaced, but for the majority of them, they are. Like, that one's the same. That one's the same. Let me see what that one's the same. I don't know what that is. That one's from 14. This one's really good. You guys might recognize this one. Yeah, so you probably remember that from the ending of all my update videos. That's where I got it from. Well, I got it before this, but you know what I mean. Let's see what else. Ah, that's another /tell from 14. That one is actually when you accept a quest. That one is when you accept a fate. And the rest of them I don't think are 14 stuff. Let me just double check. Nope, those are all standard Windows sounds. Let me see. Ooh, that sounds 14. Huh. So yeah, that's a little bit of a demo I wanted to give you guys just to show you what the theme looks like and stuff. So I'm going to have this in the download portion of the info box for you guys so you guys can check it out. I know some people were having trouble, so for people that can't download Internet Explorer 10 or having some other issues, I got you covered, so don't worry. And actually, I'm going to include the person that did it in the first place so they get credit because they're the ones that actually did this, not me. So I want to point them out. I'm going to include their name in the info box. I can't remember it right now, so I apologize, but double check in the info box and you'll notice who it is. All right, so I'll get to that after I finish this video. Now, back to the actual video itself. That is the basis of this whole promo site thing. Now you're probably wondering, well, what's that got to do with the whole speculation you were hinting to? Well, if you give me 1 second, I'll show you. All right, so I pulled up the images real quick, and this is what we got. This was the most recent image that they unlocked for us. Now, quick fun fact, this was actually leaked I think a week in advance before this was actually legitimately unlocked through the little game that they set up for us to participate in, per se. So over the course of this past week, and I do really apologize for this being late, because I'm sure everyone's heard about this by now, but in case you haven't, take a real close look at this image, okay? I'm going to start up here. You got the warrior, you got the white mage, you got the monk, you got the bard, you got the summoner on the left. You got the dragoon, the paladin, the black mage, they're all looking pretty familiar, right? Okay. Look at this one on the far right. What does that look like to you? Looks like Arcanist, kind of, with the book, right? That's what I thought at first, too. I also saw the cap, which just immediately screamed out to me, Scholar. But I said to myself, well, that's weird. I mean, there's some things pointing to Arcanist being a scholarly type, which is the pirates call them in Limsa's storyline. But some people brought up the notion that that's not enough evidence. And you know what? After thinking about it, they kind of do have a point, but that's not exactly why I started to shift my belief. I started to look a little bit deeper into it. And I'm like, you know what? It looks a hell of a lot like a scholar, but it has a book, so maybe it's just Arcanist wearing some type of scholarly gear. Okay, I did some research into Final Fantasy XI first, as well as some other games that had Scholar. Take a look at this image I put together. Alright, here's Scholar from Final Fantasy XIV, right here. That's the whole thing. You got the book, you got the clothes, take a nice good look at it. Okay, look over here. That's Final Fantasy XI Scholar. Right there. Now, call me crazy, but there's a lot of similarities with these things. I mean, the gloves are practically identical. The shoes have the same fucking bows on them. They both have, like, knee-high socks like Soken. And I'm not joking. They do. They both have books, but that's the obvious one. And they both have the scholar's cap, which you can see right there. Now, you also notice that they have several types of, I don't know, like an arrayment of badges and whatnot and stuff like that. If you look closely here on her breast, right here, on her, the breast of her shirt, she has 2 medals. And if you look on the far, on her left arm, left arm, directly to the right of those medals, you can see another one of those, I don't know, patch things or medal-y things hanging off, which looks a lot like the one hanging off this guy and that guy's. So, you also have this little ascot thing like Freddy from Scooby-Doo wears, and these motherfuckers have it too. Look, all I'm saying is this thing looks like looks like a scholar. It kind of acts like a scholar. Maybe it is a scholar. I don't know. I have the one defining argument against this is that there has not been any confirmation of scholar. There has not been any confirmation of it being added since this image came out. No dev has responded to it at all in any of the threads that I've been in and seen. So, who the hell knows? I still have my doubts. I still think the most realistic scenario is that it's probably just an Arcanist in some type of souped up scholar looking gear set. I don't know. Because they do use books, they do have libraries in their guild, and they're considered to be called scholarlies by the people within their own city. So, I know it's not a whole lot to go on, but, I mean, when all you really have is the image of it alone, that's not enough, unfortunately, to really go on. As much as I do agree with people that say that, though. I do support their ideas, and I do think they have a lot of merits in them. But I just want to recall that when Archer was first getting its job, when everyone found out it was becoming Bard, people all assumed it was going to be Ranger, and myself included. No one saw that it was going to become Bard. Like, that was a complete 180. And that's probably one of the most obscure class to job situations in the entire game. Also with that, when Dragoon was first shown off in the concept art, with the rest of the jobs, everyone thought it was Dark Knight because it looked a lot like it. And I'm trying to remember what the third instance was too, because I'm starting to draw a bit of a blank. But you get my point though, right? So, I don't know. I still have my doubts, but it looks a hell of a lot like Scholar. And me personally, I really hope it's Scholar, because I would love to have more new jobs and classes. I mean, the more the merrier. And I think a Scholar would be pretty kick-ass to play as. Now you're probably wondering what the hell this is up top. I drew this basically showing Arcanist becoming two different jobs, okay? So Arcanist is obviously the class. Scholar is the first job that you can choose to go to, or you can go to Summoner. So all three of them wield books. So the Scholar wields a book, the Summoner wields a book, and the Arcanist wields a book. So it's kind of like the talk that Yoshi P brought up in the past about like how the armory system utilizes certain weapons, like paladins use swords and bladed weapons like daggers and stuff, whereas dragoons use polearms, monks use like fist or whatever the fuck those things are called. Black mages use staffs. They have a single hand and a double-handed staff. Same with white mages, but theirs is made out of different material. And so on. So you get my point. So what happens when you have like a Dark Knight? Well, Yoshi P said like an idea of, well, let's say you're a gladiator. You have a choice between, like, kind of like how Cecil had to choose in Final Fantasy IV. You can go Dark Knight first, and then you could switch and become a paladin later on. I don't know. Some people were saying maybe you become one and then you sacrifice becoming the other, or maybe you can become one but you have to reset and do the quest over to become... There's a lot of different ideas people are speculating, but all that is based off that one image showing off right here. So none of it has been confirmed. It's all speculation right now. No one knows. Most likely it's Arcanist dressed like Scholar, but I really do hope it's Scholar because all these things showing off here are jobs, not classes. The things in the background are miscellaneous, just assortments of characters and styles that you can play as, not necessarily a specific job through the armory system. And strangely enough, the chick in the middle here with like the white dress looks a lot like the Bravely Default Flying Fairy chick. And it's kind of funny because they're both drawn by Akihiko Yoshida, which I thought is pretty cool. Because he's the fucking man when it comes to art. That's right. Yeah, a lot of interesting things in this image. So you can actually, I'm going to include this in the link too, all of this stuff, so you can download this for wallpapers and whatnot. And that is the whole speculation buzz going around with the whole Scholar thing. So if you see any of that, that's what it derives from. And I just basically said that the lore can connect Arcanists from Limsa Lominsa to Scholars from Sharlayan through job quest line possibly, because Scholars technically are in the game. They just haven't been seen per se. Like, they're in the lore and they hail from Sharlayan, and some of the main characters are considered Scholars, even though they're not 100% full-blood, fully clothed-looking Scholars. But Loisois is like one of the most prime examples. So I don't want to sit here and ramble too much on about it, but I just wanted to fill you guys in on that in case you're interested. So I'm going to include these links too. And I don't know if there's any more images because I don't know. This has been going on for a couple days now. So yeah, you can download images here as well. And you can also see the text art progress through, I think it's this link right here. Yeah, so you can see the text art. And if you click on these images, all those little funny little details across the image are actual individual text printed across and color-coded to form the image. And I think these numbers indicate how many days it took to unlock them or something like that, or how many attempts to 100% it took to unlock them. This fucking thing's at 11 right now, which is pretty crazy. So I don't know if there's going to be any more unlocks coming out, but I was really hoping that they would. So yeah. Alright, so that wraps up that section. And this little part I want to show off is the European box art cover for Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn. So if you're from Europe, this is the box art you're going to get. Now, obviously, it doesn't say Escape Reality, Live the Fantasy, but this is the only big image I could find of it on the internet so far in my quick look through. So it looks really badass. You have Gaius Van Balsar, who is the legatus of the Imperial, of the Garlean Empire. He's the leader of the 14th Imperial Legion that's taken over Alamigo, and he's basically the main. Now that Nail Vendarnis has been killed and out of the picture, you have him now. He's the main baddie, and he was the first Garlean guy you ever saw in the game, like the main baddie that appeared throughout the storyline. And oh my god, one of these days I'm gonna have to do that video and just tell you about like my reaction when I first saw this guy. Like, holy shit. Okay, so you see Bahamut down there too, and the adventurers standing watching him causing havoc, spreading mega flare all over the place. And it looks like you can see Limsa in the background, or whatever the hell that is. So yeah, cool box art. And now that segues over into our final section, which is the Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn purchase questions. Okay. So, Kamate's here, and he says, "Greetings. I'd like to answer a couple of questions regarding the purchase of the official version of Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn. So, in case I missed anything in my first video about the pre-order details, collector's edition, and all that jazz, I'm going to wrap it up with a little bit of Q&A with Kamate on the LODESTONE forum. So, here we go. First question, are the pre-order bonuses attached to the entire Square Enix account? Or is it just a registration code we activate on specific service accounts?" Kamate answers by saying, "Pre-order bonuses attached to a Final Fantasy XIV service account, so all characters on that service account will be able to receive the pre-order bonuses. So basically, if you have multiple characters and you have one service account with all your characters shared on that service, if you enter the code, you can get all those items from the collector's edition and pre-ordered editions all on that on every one of those characters that you own. So in the original 14, you used to have to create a new character in order to get the items that you got from those box editions and stuff, which is absolutely a fucking retarded idea if anyone had to go through that. Luckily, I didn't have much trouble with it, but now they fixed it because there's a mail system in the game. Back then there wasn't. So with the Moogle mail, you can actually pick up your items in game after you registered them, which is pretty cool. Or if you're a legacy member, they're going to be there automatically, so you don't even have to register anything. Okay, so the next question is, will it be possible to register the PS3 version's pre-order bonuses on the Windows version? Yes, this will be possible. By inputting the product code enclosed with the PS3 version into your PS3, you will be able to choose to add the PS3 version to either an existing Final Fantasy XIV service account or a new Final Fantasy XIV service account. If you choose to add it to an FF XIV existing service account, the pre-order bonuses will be applied to that Final Fantasy XIV service account. Holy shit, I had to say Final Fantasy XIV service account like 5 fucking times in that thing. That sounds really crazy. Did everybody get that? Because I think I just confused myself. Basically, the sum up version, if you get a registration code in the PS3 version, you can register it on PC as well, and it carries over. So if that's not what that meant, then I don't know, because I think I said Final Fantasy XIV service account like 50 gajillion times. For people who purchased the 1.0 Collector's Edition, it was said that the bonuses would be distributed via MOG letters. However, will these still be distributed even if we didn't put input any codes? Kamate says, users who purchased and registered the Final Fantasy XIV version 1.0 Collector's Edition, the bonus items will be sent by MOG letter without having to input any additional codes. Users who purchased the Final Fantasy XIV version 1.0 Collector's Edition but did not register the code will need to input the Collector's Edition registration code. So that means if you have the Collector's Edition and you didn't input the registration code when you first bought it, you can still do it now and it still counts like it was brand new. And if you already registered it all those years ago when it first came out, then you're good to go. It's good as new, and you don't even have to register anything. It'll be inside the game as soon as you log in one of the delivery Moogle's knapsacks. Okay, so the next question is, are the pre-order bonuses only for online purchase? If you pre-order at a retail store, will bonuses still be included? Pre-orders have begun today for both online purchases and retail stores as well, Kamate says. Please note that this may differ from store to store, so it's a good idea to confirm with the retailer beforehand. So for guys that go to GameStop, be sure to check with them before you go. Like, call them up and ask them if they take reservations and they have the necessary pre-order items that come with it. I'm pretty 100% sure that GameStop's got that shit covered. So I think Amazon's going to have it too, because Amazon's usually on the ball. And I think Best Buy might have them as well. I would not be surprised. But yeah, hopefully that answers the question. Okay, so the next one is Legacy members are being given early access. So does that mean they will also be receiving the Mog Cap and Kate Sith doll minion? So what he's talking about is you get a Mog Cap on your head and a Kate Sith minion doll that follows you around that actually comes to life, kind of like Drippy from Ni no Kuni. A little Kate Sith doll follows you on your adventures, and you get these only for pre-ordering. You don't get these for being a Legacy member, and you don't get them for buying any of the games. You have to pre-order to get these. Kamate says no. Players who have fulfilled the criteria for Legacy campaign are only being granted early access to the game. Will people who have the 1.0 Collector's Edition be able to apply the pre-order bonus in-game items and early access rights to their old accounts if they pre-order the standard PC version of the game? When registering the pre-order bonus code, you will be able to select which Final Fantasy XIV service account the bonus is applied to. The last question is, if someone who purchased the 1.0 Standard Edition wants the Final Fantasy XIV A Realm Reborn Collector's Edition in-game bonus items, is it possible to obtain these by buying the Collector's Edition digital upgrade? Or will it be necessary to purchase the Standard Edition of A Realm Reborn as well as the digital upgrade? And Kamate finishes by saying, you simply need to purchase the Collector's Edition digital upgrade. So, hopefully that solves a lot of the questions that I might have missed in the first video, or people were still unsure about some things. So, that wraps up the forum section, thanks to Kamate over there. And I have one thing I want to show you real quick, so let me pull it out and I'll wrap this video up with that. Alright guys, what's up? This just in. I just got back from losing my internet connection for a couple hours or so. But during that meantime, I was lucky enough to come up against another update in between that time period of doing these recording sessions. The E3 section that we covered a second ago actually got a bit of an update. I'm going to jump to it right about now. Okay, so it says, where can I find it? Here we go. E3 2013 kicks off in Los Angeles, California from June 11th, 2013 to June 13th, 2013. And will be streaming an assortment of Final Fantasy XIV and Realm Reborn related programs live from the event. The first bulletin says, Letter from the Producer Live, E3 Edition Part 1, Japanese language. The daring duo of Yoshida and Foxclaw are back and broadcasting a special edition of the ever-popular Letter from the Producer Live, straight from the E3 show floor. As always, we expect Foxclaw to ask the hard-hitting questions that Yoshida just can't resist answering. Final Fantasy XIV A Realm Reborn Battle Event and Community Recap, English language. During E3, attendees will have the chance to go hands-on with special battle content. The North American community team will be live, streaming and commentating as attendees get a first-hand look at this special content. You can also expect some fun commentary on the event itself. Letter from the Producer Live, E3 Edition Part 2, English language. For the first time ever, Yoshida will be co-hosting a Letter from the Producer Live in English with the help of everyone's favorite voicing for always. Holy shit. Dude, he's gonna be there. We get to see this the fucker in person. AKA localization lead Michael Christopher Koji Fox. Bayonne will be there trying to wrangle these two, and while we can't reveal too much, you can expect some fun surprises. Dude, it's awesome. We get to see Fern Hollis behind the single-eyed mask that he wears all the time around the forums. That's pretty cool. Be interesting to see what Fern Hollis actually looks like. And see him actually there at E3 with Yoshi P doing a live letter. That's pretty cool. Maybe he'll drop some lore bombs. I do not know. But that would be pretty awesome. Anyway, it also goes on to say the Final Fantasy XIV A Realm Reborn streams will be part of a series of live streams from Square-Enix on the recently announced Square-Enix Presents, a YouTube channel. So stay tuned for further details as we get near to E3. See, I was right. That channel is going to be hosting that shit on there. So I'm glad I did bring that up earlier on in the video. So be sure be sure to subscribe to there for that stuff when it appears from the 11th to the 13th, so you can tune in. And it shows the Square Enix Presents YouTube link and the Square Enix Presents on Twitter. So check those out. I will have this in the link in the description down below. Okay, getting back to what I was going to show previously before the update came in. I want to show a special thanks and shout out to Kyle Hatless. This guy, if you pause the video and read his message, he went to PAX when they had Final Fantasy XIV there, and apparently he got a bunch of free swag that they were handing out. And among that swag was a bit of plastic wrapped around with 5 of these art cells that they released. And he was asking if I wanted some because he knew I was a 14 fan. He knew I do these videos and stuff. He watches them. He checked them out. And I guess he figured I wanted them, and I guess he was right because I did want them. I was like, sure, because he said he already had like 1 or 2 pairs, and he was like, well, I have this extra pair. I'm just gonna toss it if nobody wants it. I'm like, sure, I'll take it. I wasn't gonna say no. I mean, I'm thinking about getting them framed or something so they don't get damaged. But he actually came back and left a reply, and I told him I'd give him a shout out. So to go a step further beyond just a shout out, I wanted to show some of the stuff that I scanned into my computer of what it actually looks like. So this is the first cell shade cell art that came in the top of the deck that he sent me, and this is the famous Primal artwork that you've probably seen already. This has Bahamut up top, the Elder Primal, with Ifrit, Garuda, and Leviathan on the left-hand side, and has Shiva, Titan, and Ramu on the right. And then there's Odin and his horse Sleipnir in the center, coming out from the light from behind. And you can actually even see down here in the bottom right-hand corner, Good King Mogglmog the 12th coming out from below. He's hidden in there, but you can see him. And yeah, I mean, this is, if I could get like a large scale poster and put this on my wall and frame it, that would be fucking amazing. Like, this thing is so beautiful. I'm actually going to try and frame these the best I can. They fit about the size of the palm in your hand. It's like the size of a PS3 game box, I would say, like at least the height wise, but it's about the width of your hand. So it's a nice good size, not too big, not too small. But yeah, I don't want to get them damaged. I have them in a safe place right now. So this is the first one that he sent me. The second one is this one. A lot of people have actually been asking for this image without like the text and stuff on it. And this one's actually the original one by Akihiko Yoshida. You can see his name printed down there. Excuse me. And it's a warrior with the relic weapon Bravura and the AF armor. And yeah, it's pretty awesome. It's a pretty rare image. You don't really see it around too much, but it's really, really good. That was the second one. The third one is the old banner that they showed off in several videos back with the Behemoth Free Company flag in the background with all the Link Shell members and stuff gathered on their various chocobos with their different jobs equipped and gear sets, but they all have like their Behemoth logo all over their chocobo armor and plates and stuff and flags. So this one's really cool too. And this one's by a different artist whose name I can't read really too well here, but it's definitely not Yoshida, Akihiko Yoshida. It's a different artist, but really damn well done too. Frickin' really good. Really nice stuff. And this one is the famous one that a lot of people have as their wallpaper or have seen in the trailers or in promotional shots, interviews, articles, so on and so on. So this one was also a horizontal cell shade art that he came in the package as well. And the last one is another one that I actually had as my wallpaper along with the last one for quite a decent amount of time, a little bit. Really, really nice. Has the Black Mage, the Warrior, the Paladin, Bard, and White Mage all in this shot from the trailer of End of an Era. And that's all of them, so figured I'd give a shout out, show off the cell shade arts and share them with you guys. And I will also include the links for these as well. So if you want to, create wallpapers out of them or whatnot, or create icons, they'll be available in the info box down below. So I figured I'd share that. Okay, so this is another thing I almost forgot to mention, is these screenshots from Phase 3 were released on Square Enix's Final Fantasy XIV Facebook page, and I think on their Twitter as well. Now, you can't really see the image too well here, but if I go to this shot, you'll see a whole bunch of shit on the screen with a paladin casting a weapon skill. But the thing I want to draw your attention to is the far right-hand side where it says level sync. That's the level sync feature that's included in the game. It's about like a level 28 fate, it looks like, with 9 minutes and 53 seconds left over. And you'll notice that the Paladin is at level 28 as well. So they're level synced to level 28 because that's the recommended, I guess, max for that level range or whatnot. So let's say you're level 50 and your buddy's level 28 who doesn't get a chance to play as much. Well, it's simple. You just level sync down, bam. You get your XP, you get to help your friend out, and you don't, screw each other's XP over. On top of that, if you're level 50 and you're participating in a level 20, 30 fate, and it's below your level, you level sync down, get XP. Simple as that. Which would be great now that I think about it for like spirit bonding and stuff. So I think level sync's going to be the key to that, possibly, to some extent. Okay, so the next image is a little bit of a better shot of the enemy they're facing in this fate. And it's the Death Gaze that we talked about in the video, the Tour of Eorzea Part 2 video that they showed off in one of the, I think it was the Fool's Fall section in Lenosia. I think this is the same area, I'm not sure. It looks like the Footfalls. I can't tell if it's a Black Shroud or Lenosia, I'm not sure. But, go to the last image here. You'll notice actually at the bottom, you'll notice he's level 50. So this is like 10 minutes in. So this is like a minute or so before they level sync down. And then here's a little bit of a better shot of the Death Gaze. And you can see some of the co-whirls on the left-hand side and one in the background that are naturally occurring mobs there, I'm guessing. So, and you see at the mini-map, that's the fate occurring. And that's that blue circle is the range that the fate extends out to. So if you leave it, essentially you leave the fate. And if you enter it, you join the fate. And that's how it works. Alrighty, so that is the screenshots for there. We're going to go on to one of the final sections, I believe, for this very, very long video, is the blog section. So we're going to start off from the latest to the, to the oldest to the latest, meaning the most recent one. So, Golden Rule was the last one I left off on my previous videos. And this was recorded May 12th, 2013. Hey guys, Fern Hollis here. Every year at the end of April in Japan, there's a week so spectacular, so scintillating, so utterly stunning that it's called Golden Week. Multiple national holidays converge with 2 sets of weekends to form an extended window of respite, which not only rejuvenates the hearts and minds of a weary nation, but spreads joy and happiness from the northernmost tip of Hokkaido to the southernmost islands of Okinawa, and everywhere in between. Well, everywhere that is, except at Square Enix headquarters, where it was business as usual, getting the game ready for the next phase of the beta test. But if we're so busy, what then am I doing writing this post? Good question. There's a reason I've been MIA on the lore forums and the beta servers, and why it takes several moments for my littlest voidsent to recognize me when I finally make it home after a long day buried under all 20 hardback volumes of the OED. Holy crap. And that reason will become evident very soon when you all get your hands on the massive amount of new content that is coming, and the next beta test, Beta Phase 3. And the amazing thing is, even that amount is only a portion of what will be in the game at release. Even Yoshi P was burning their Golden Week oil, checking even the most detailed aspects of the game. Question, what is Yoshi P doing in this photo? If you guess simultaneously comparing the difference in colors and contrast between the PC and PS3 versions on 6 monitors of various manufacturers, you get a mithril star. For those interested, the differences were deemed within an acceptable range and giving Yoshi P the seal of approval. Yay! What Yoshi P was truly interested in, however, was the differences in monitors. As you can see in the following photo, there is a noticeable difference between manufacturers. Needless to say, our fearless director spent the next 30 minutes fiddling with the picture settings on both displays and ended up being late to a meeting with the bigwigs on the 20th floor. Oops. Burn hallways. You notice if I zoom in here, you can see the different versions of monitors that he's playing the PS3 version on, with the PS3 console, the keyboard, and not sure what's in his hand. I don't know if that's a PS3 controller he has or what, but or I think that's the monitor controller that he's fidgeting around with. So he's got like 4 or 5. I think he's got like 6 monitors going across that whole thing. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it says PS3 here, PC on that one, to the far left. Or far right, sorry. And you notice how it has different saturations. Some are a little bit like more saturated. Some are a little bit calmer, a little bit dimmer. Some are brighter. Some are more vibrant, like the two on the left. So I guess he's trying to compare like everything in the game, seeing like what looks good, what doesn't look like washed out. So sounds like a trying process. Not too bad. Interesting work. All right, so we're gonna go on to the next one, which is Fragile, which I don't know if I pronounced that right, but it sounds French. Which this was recorded on May 13th, 2013. Greetings all, Fern Hollis here for a quick post before getting back to that mountain of fate text on my desk. I was passing by the marketing area when I spied something of interest lying on one of their coffee tables. It's it looks like a German magazine featuring Final Fantasy XIV and a little bit of World of Warcraft. Hey, World of Wapkra! Stole our Makote Bard. Someone alert the lawyers! Sue, baby, sue! What? This is the newest edition of respected Swedish MMO magazine Level presents World of Warcraft. And they're doing a 10-page spread on Final Fantasy XIV. Oh, I knew that. Thanks, Level. You guys are the greatest. Forget that part about the lawyers. They don't listen to me anymore anyway, after that spat we had about the get to the chopper. Fern Hollis. Now, for those of you curious about like the CGI image of the bard displayed here, if anyone wants that as their desktop background, well, fear not. Feast your eyes on this, baby. Alright, so I'll have this in the description as well if you want to set this as your desktop background or an icon or something. This I managed to find on, I believe it was, I don't even remember where. I think it was the Final Fantasy XIV Facebook. Or I think I pulled this off of 4chan or something when I was browsing around for leaked images. I forget I said that. But anyway, I mean, the detail on this is freaking astonishing. Like the freaking hat, like the stitching in it and stuff. The hair, the skin, the lips, the eyes. I mean, this is pretty amazing. Even like the gems on her bracelets and stuff look really good. And the material on the Artemis bow looks really great. So, I wish they actually had more of these for the others. I know I have the white mage one I showed you guys earlier. But if they came out with a dragoon or a black mage one, that would be badass as hell, man. Or a CGI version of the summoner or something for the promo art. Alright, so the next one we're moving on to is Getting in Character. This was recorded May 17th, 2013. Hey guys, Fern Hollis here. We received a 2 tons truckload of feedback on character creation since the alpha test, and from what I saw in today's build, much has changed since then. If you thought there were a lot of options before, wait until you see all the new ways to customize your avatar, including an extended hair color palette, plus a plethora of playful tattoos. So you can see right here if I zoom in, there's a chocobo tattoo on her cheek with the eggshell still attached to it, like the minion that you can get. And on the right-hand side, you see the color palette you can choose from all your hairstyles. So no more different hairstyle colors you can choose from. It's this huge, like, paint tool style looking palette you can go through for all the various colors in the wheel, which is pretty awesome. And it looks like he's trying to create Rydia here a little bit with the hairstyle. It's pretty neat. Now here are several new hairstyles for men. You got fucking, what's his face over here? Oh my god, I can't remember his name from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I'm trying to remember his name. Not Will Smith's character. The Carlton. This fucking Carlton look over here. It's so awesome. Oh man. I wish the guy could do the Carlton. That would be freaking amazing. Special pre-order bonus. Your character does the Carlton dance. Side effects include immersion breaking for other players. But that's pretty awesome. I like that hairstyle. And you can see in the top right-hand corner there's some other new hairstyles and returning ones as well. Among several others, I'm sure. And you also notice the background's different. You notice here this is a Lenosia background for character creator, and this one is an Odin background at night. So it seems like you can see a little in the bottom right hand corner. You see there's a little, what the hell's the name? It's like a little cog, and on top of that cog is a clock. So I'm guessing the cog is the settings that they were talking about, where you can change before you even create your character or start the game. And the timer is the time of day. So you can change the time of day in Character Creator to get better lighting effects. So if you want Lenosia during the daytime with the sun up, or outside of ul'dah and Thanalan with the sundown at nighttime. So that's pretty cool that they added those in there. Those were not in at beta or alpha. So, several new hairstyles for women, including, oh my god, long hair options. And is that a slider on the right for ear size? What? So you see over here, there's like a slider going up and down for the hairs. So I guess like it's basically like Skyrim or any other slider in any RPG you played. You know, she also has stars as a unique tattoo on her cheek. It's pretty cool. And a slider for height? What else could there be a slider for? His penis? What? Oh? Oh? And purple whiskers? And purple eyes? What the fuck? What the fuck? It's pretty neat. Got interesting little whiskers going out there. Rocking it out with the male Makote. Kind of looking like a Zidane a little bit. And oh my god, my eyes, the red, it burns! Ooh, nice titties. Get ready to let your imagination run wild. Fern Hollis. Holy shit, that's a creepy looking. Oh my god, it looks like Michael Jackson with tits. Okay, I'm getting off this page. Alright, so for the next blog, let me zoom out a bit. Check 1, 2. May 21st, 2013. Hello all, Fern Hollis here. Last night we did the final sound check for the new trailer we'll be unveiling at this year's E3. As you can see in this photo, our sound director, Masayoshi Soken, is explaining to Yoshi P how knee socks inspired him to create this particular orchestral masterpiece. You see Soken right there pointing to the TV screen that's displaying the picture with the sound system all enveloped all over it. And Yoshi P just has his head tilted, just staring at Soken over on the left here. After that, Yoshi P and community guru Toshio Morochi, aka FoxClon, if you may remember from the live letters and on the Japanese forum section, moved over to our in-house studio to record the commentary track for an upcoming video release. Needless to say, it was late, and neither could quite get into the groove. Who knew that the words Konnichiwa could be so funny? Fern Hollis. And I'll let you guys watch that one on your own. I don't want to spoil the bloopers on that one. It's kind of like a blooper reel of Yoshi P busting out laughing. So it's kind of funny. I'll say that much. And last but not least is the Golden Rule. It is March 12th, 2013. Hey guys, Fern Hollis here. Alright guys, so I think we went over just about everything important over the past 2 weeks, including what was released just, well, technically by my Eastern Standard Time clock, what was just released yesterday. So, it's going into overtime, so, whew, let's wrap it up. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you found it informative. I am tired as fuck. I have not done anything but record videos since I got home from work. I am, like, ready to eat something and drink something and just sit back and relax and watch some shit. So, hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if I missed anything in the comments and I'll get right to it. And I'll see you next time on Final Fantasy XIV Podcast. And go reserve that collector's edition now! Alright, later guys.